right now, so it'll just start and we'll be in our show, and that's how it works. We're probably live right this second. So if that's the case, welcome everybody to my own private Kokomo.
Yeah.
Me, Ryan Meharry, and Dave Tooney joining us today. We are going live. Oh, there it is. Right now, so we'll just start and we'll be in our show, and that's how it works. It worked out. Like the timing was just about right. We are joined today by the wonderful Jim Woods. Hi, Jim. How you doing?
Good. How's it going, guys?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Just chilling. Jim and I played a game of Murder last night. Dave's, would you say it's your least favorite game?
My least favorite game. I don't like it in any way.
You're scared, right?
For sure. Other than the camaraderie of my... Oh, boy, sorry. Other than the camaraderie of friends, I don't like it in any way.
For those of you who don't know, maybe you've heard of it like as Werewolf or Mafia, but it's a game where essentially you have to lie or accuse your friends of being liars, and it's a very insidious game. It brings out the worst in people, and Dave is right to not like it.
You two are very good at it.
Yeah, Jim fooled me really hard last night. I was such a sucker.
But it's miserable. It's miserable to win like that.
It came down to Jim and James Mastriani, two of my best, closest friends. And I had to tell essentially James, who was telling me the truth, who was working hard, that I had to tell him that I thought he was lying to me.
and I had to sit there and watch James and know he's not lying.
Yeah.
and
James,
let
he looked pained.
How does this translate? Like when I play or I hear about this game, I think, all right, well, does this make me a better, if I get good at this, does that make me a better actor? I can be more believable in these roles. Like that's where I can translate to the real world. Is there another place where you find like this is applicable somewhere?
Well, as soon as we're done with the games, we usually get up and do some monologues and give each other feedback.
Yeah.
I'll say this, without fail, last night included, I have horrible time sleeping after playing Murder. I'm just like, I'm so wired and just amped up from it. It definitely affects my dreams, and it takes a real toll on me. Also, I ate so many Oreos last night that probably affected my dreams also.
Jim sleeps like a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like, you know, I won on lies.
Hey,
all right.
Speaking of Oreos, friend of the show, Hillary Kane.
Yeah.
Or maybe I should just be saying Hillary, maybe not her last name. Hillary, I apologize.
She goes in the chat.
She drove by my place last night to give us a gift that I have to then transfer over to you, Ryan.
Oh, do I get to see the gift before you transfer it to me, or are we seeing it now?
You can see it now. I mean, I've already seen it.
Okay.
But she gave us both a thing of Easter Oreos.
Oh, Easter egg Oreos. Okay.
Yeah, you can see them there.
Interesting. I
talked about them recently.
What do we know about? Have you tried them yet, Dave?
I ate my whole package already.
Really?
No.
Did you really?
Uh-huh.
Wait, you got them yesterday?
Uh-huh. Last night. 8:30.
That's about when we started lying to each other.
Yeah. I don't know who's.
I was dealing with my own issues.
I don't know whose night was more self-destructive.
Who slept better?
Yeah.
Not me.
How were they? I mean, I guess great.
They're great.
Was it sort of like flavor-wise? Is it like a golden Oreo?
No, it's different.
It's a totally different thing.
I'm interested to know what you think about it. It is the most different Oreo I've had. Specifically, the cookie.
Okay, I'm a big.
But you feel terrible about myself. But thank you, Hillary. Also, She gave us some Oreo eggs.
Does she
Whoa.
work for Oreo?
No.
We talk about
She
Oreos
works for
a lot.
Easter.
Yeah, we
That's
talk about
for
Oreos,
Easter.
just cookies in general a lot.
And then she gave us both something else, but since I'm currently not partaking, these are all for you. She gave us a few Kona brews
Oh,
and White Claws.
yeah, sweet.
These are for you, buddy.
Awesome.
I would-
How do I get these?
I'll throw them at your house
You don't have to throw them at my house.
like a newspaper boy on a bicycle.
It's gonna be a huge, huge mess.
I thought White Claw was like a energy drink. It looks like an energy drink, is it not?
No, it's like a hard seltzer,
It does look like
low calorie. Yeah,
similar to an energy drink, though.
yeah,
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ellie, for doing that. What's vegan?
The Oreos,
Yeah,
yeah.
you can handle those, and
Oh,
I'm
and I
guessing
did.
the hard seltzer is too.
Yeah, that is too. They are not birthday cake Oreos, as Jared asked. They're definitely Easter Oreos. They're different.
They
Right?
taste like Easter. Is how you would describe them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm curious. Like some things taste like Christmas. I'll know it when I taste it.
You want to put on your Easter best suit and hop around.
Did you guys have like Easter food growing up? Stuff that that was kind of like what you ate at Easter? Is it like ham or what'd you guys do?
Ham.
Ham.
I don't remember. I mean, but I did. I assume like you guys. I don't know. My mom would put out like an Easter basket with like candy and stuff in it. But she'd usually put like one little gift in it. But
Yeah.
I soon started to take that as in like, oh, it's just like Christmas.
Yeah, oh, for sure. I like that you put your mom in quotation marks and not the Easter bunny.
Yeah, well, just like your all of your Easter best suits. But one year I asked the Easter bunny for the entire Smurf collection. And the next morning, I had a Luke Skywalker and a Darth Vader action figure, and a note from the Easter Bunny that said, "Sorry, I couldn't get my hands on the Smurf collection. I hope these will do." But I was way more excited about the note.
Oh yeah.
I was like, "Oh my god!" I can still picture the note too. My mom had this like legal pad that that was yellow. Her handwriting.
Yeah, that stuff was always the most exciting. Like for Reagan, when Reagan was into Santa Claus, I would go super hard for it. Like I would buy carrots and then like eat some of them and then like toss them out into the yard and be like, oh my God, look, some of the carrots that we left for the reindeer made it out onto the yard. And like, I think I threw one onto the roof so that it looked like he put the carrots on the roof. And my dad would write like a letter from as Santa Claus to Reagan. Way too much energy, but it was like, she loved it. She thought it was so great. It convinced her it was real. And then pulled the rug right from underneath.
We put way too much energy into making her happy. Way too much. Hey, I do want to say real quick though about the Easter flavored Oreos. I don't know if I ever told you guys that in Chicago I did like one of those like study groups, focus groups, where I've eaten different Captain Crunches that have never made it to the store.
Whoa.
What?
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
exciting.
Like I went in a focus group and like they poured us a bunch of different bowls of Captain Crunch, and we just sat there. And I was the only one who ate all of those. All of every bowl. I was the only one. But like there were like ones where it was like snow, it was like winter Captain Crunch or whatever, and there was crunch berries. Everything was a version of crunch berries. It was like crunch berries with white powdered sugar on it, to be like, the snow. There was one that was like a treasure, and it had just like different colored sugar crystals added to the crunch berry, so it seemed like jewels were in it. But the weirdest one was magic potion one, where the crunch berries had this like pink coating, and when you poured milk on it, it would fizz as the coating would come off, revealing the true color. Those are the weirdest.
Fun.
That was the weirdest one. That one tasted like eating like, imagine if there was like Sour Patch cereal. That's what that tasted like.
Yeah, I don't know if I want sour cereal.
But one guy, he was like, he had no problem with any of the taste. He just kept going, it's cutting the roof of my mouth. Can't I just have normal Captain Crunch? You're like, buddy, you're in the wrong place.
Yeah,
that's the only thing they're not going to serve.
Yeah,
Yeah. Regular Captain Crunch does that.
Yeah.
Although, you know what? I've never had that problem with it.
Me neither. Oh, I have if I've eaten like 4 bowls or something. I feel like then I'm like, all right, this might be enough.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like, nothing we can do about that.
Yeah.
It comes with the territory. The food, it's going to hurt you. But it tastes really good.
Yeah.
So yesterday I shared a document with Dave.
Yes.
We're trying to figure out what this is, what My Own Private Kokomo is, what we're going to do for this show. And so today I thought I would read some of these segment ideas that I pitched.
You pitched a lot of them, and you came up with a lot of ideas. You're very creative. This is very impressive.
Dave, you guys are already friends.
Sorry.
This whole deal is getting just Dave to praise me because I needed my.
It's impressive.
I feel like you guys have art. I have nothing. It looks like I just have a mattress on my floor.
But you have nice looking curtains.
Thank you.
I've like a couple pictures. It took me so long, like especially like in my bedroom and stuff like that. It's like, oh, this looks like just an insane asylum. Just like no.
Like, I have art.
Oh yeah.
It's just not up.
Yeah.
Like,
I never.
What is that one? What is that first picture you just showed us? Is that a bunch of flowers?
No, it's still in its Blick art thing. It's like little monstery things.
Oh, I like it.
But
at least you have curtains in your bedroom. I don't have those, or in my apartment at all. I have no curtains. My first like 3 nights in this apartment, that my window is right at the street. And I'm like basically Lexington and Vine. I'm like a block down the street from that Taco Bell. Yeah.
And it's an active area. I say that. And when at night, I mean, you could just walk right up to the window. So like with no curtains, I would like be asleep, just exposed. Just be like, I kept waking up like, like it was just terrifying. Like, so I couldn't really sleep well until I got the curtains. It was a must. And I got TaskRabbit for a guy to put it up. I tried and I was like,
I tried to hang curtains once too. And they got up, but they sure didn't look right. Yeah. And it was a miracle. It's like, man, these could go down at any second. All right. So here, I want to just throw out some of these segments. Let's talk about which ones that we like, that we'll possibly do.
Yep.
And if there's one that stands out, then maybe it's like, hey, this could just even be the show. Like this could just be our shtick, and we stick to that, and that's what we do. That's a possibility. Also, I want to know which ones, Dave, you are 100% uncomfortable with and don't want to do.
Yeah.
And the ones that you think are just not feasible in general. I'll say this, because Dave said something a while back, and it made me not only think about this show, but also just my friendship with Dave as a whole, where he's like, I just don't, he said it very earnestly. He's like, I don't want this to just be a thing where you make me uncomfortable all the time. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna try to come up with these ideas. And I was like, all right, not going to make Dave uncomfortable. And then like it made me rethink everything. It's like also maybe some things could just be like good spirited, just in general. Like they could be good natured, or maybe I could be more uncomfortable. So
and I get that being good natured can be boring. I get that.
right. Okay, so first two ones we've done already, pantry raid, where we get to look at our guest's pantry.
Which initially was going to be looking at our pantry, but Andrew Secunda didn't hear you say it as Dave, what's in the pantry. He thought it was asking him, so he showed us what was in his pantry, and we went with it.
He just took the ball and ran with it. And it's like, ooh, good, I get out of that.
Yeah.
Then phone contact roulette.
We did.
Jim, what that is we have to pull up my phone contacts. Dave tells me to scroll, and then I have to call whatever number I land on, pretty much whoever it is, and I have to speak to them or leave a voicemail message. So it could be a good friend, or it could be a maintenance worker from an apartment I lived at 4 years ago. So that's one. Now this one I think might be my favorite, and it's the most good-natured thing I came up with, where we have people on, a guest, and then we contact their friends and have them write earnest, like brief letters to them about how much they love them and what they mean to them, and like just kind words, and then we read them to the guest, and just get to see like comedians have to deal with genuine feelings and emotions.
This sounds awful. As the guest,
a living obituary.
As the guest,
exactly. It would be. I mean, it's like, hey, you're just hearing how much your friends love you and care about you.
Yeah,
and like,
it's too good. It's too good natured.
It's too good natured.
There are going to be some people that go. There are going to be some people that, oh, I love it. Yes.
Like I was thinking, Drew DeFonso Marks would be a good person to test it out, like, or be like an early person to do it, because I think he would be very into it.
Yeah, he would dig it.
And then Jim, you would be the counter to that.
So wait, you already did do this, or
we haven't done it yet? This is one we're pitching. This is the one I want to do the most. Oh. I'm kind of the most excited about.
And to make it clear, I just want to make it clear. So let's say Jim was the guest. We would ask, we would get like Joe Wenger or someone to write an obituary. I'm going to say a living obituary.
Yeah, you got to stop calling it obituaries. It's not the vibe I'm going for.
All right. So he gets the right kind words. And so we're reading it from Joe to Jim.
Yeah. A couple things. I figured we, even if there are close friends, that we should not do our letters, just because if it comes down the line where we do we have a lot of guests and we do this, and it gets to people like, we don't really know all that well, and we choose not to do it. I was high when I came up with this, and I immediately just started thinking about like all the potential uncomfortable situations that could arise. Like if a good friend didn't write a letter for somebody and they got mad, or the letter wasn't up to snuff. And so I was like, oh, we're going to kind of also just take them at random. So one of your best friends might have written one, but we just didn't get to it. Which also, then if I'm that best friend, I'm like, why the fuck did I have to write that letter if you're not going to read it? See, this is why we're doing this, so that we can sort of figure this out. And also, guys, if you have any sort of thoughts or feedback, let us know in the chat. Real quick, though, Hillary Kane does have a question for Jim. Hillary, if you want to, we'd love to hear it. While we wait for that, I'll throw out another.
Let's see another one of these. These are good. I have it up too.
Okay. Pet peeves. This could be a one-time thing where Dave comes up with 5 pet peeves about me, and only one of them is true. And they could just be like just single like adjectives, where it's like annoying, cruel, whatever like something you think about me. But only one of them is one you believe, and you never tell me which one it is. And so then you don't have to feel bad. You don't have to share it with me, because I know it would drive you crazy. And so, so
So instead, it's possibly 5.
it's one of 5 things. I know it's one of 5,
Yeah.
and but I don't know which one. And then everyone can kind of guess what they think it is. But Dave, you've got to stay strong and never tell us.
Jim, what do you think of this idea?
I mean, it's funny. I mean, it's definitely.
It's a one-time deal.
Oh, it's a one-time deal. Oh,
Yeah.
just
If this is what every single day,
then yeah,
every
Yeah, I
single
love
show,
it.
just I'm getting just.
yeah.
How are you still coming up with just one?
You're gonna pan over, and you're gonna have like a Homeland
Yeah.
yarn all drawn, like to figure out these
This one
5 on
tracks
this
with
day.
one.
Yeah.
If he believes this, then you would definitely believe this one also.
It's a pet peeve LSAT
Yeah.
question.
Jim, you've got a question from Hillary Kane asking,
Yeah.
what is the secret to the calves?
What is the secret?
To your calves?
Yeah, genetics. my mom's dad my grandfather has huge calves. I never knew that my calves were big, and like they were just my legs. And then all of a sudden it was somebody made a comment, and I was like, oh, are they big? But now I'm actually I get insecure about them because I feel like they would be so big that like I can't wear normal. If I wear shorts, I have to wear ankle socks so that you can tell that I actually have an ankle.
Yeah.
Like, and my calves don't just go straight down to the ground.
They don't though. You have like muscular calves. Like it's a good.
Yeah, you have good calves.
Yeah.
I had never noticed them until Mastriani pointed them out, and he goes, we were talking about something like working out. He goes, I mean, Jim's got the best calves ever. Like, Jim's calves are huge.
It's like Jim and Kathy Ireland. They got the best calves in the.
All right. Here, let me throw out a couple more of these. All right, here's one. This would also be a one-time deal.
Yeah.
House sitting. This is where I would sleep at Dave's house, and then Dave would sleep at my house. And then we would broadcast the next day from each other's homes and just sort of share what our experiences were like just living in the other person's house. And Dave would have to take care of my dog. Why don't you want to do that one?
I don't mind. I gotta take care of your dog. I gotta do this work. You have a vacation night, and I gotta do this extra labor.
I've got a backyard. You just got to let them out or once, and then you get the joy.
Just so you know, Dave refers to his place as a vacation night.
Yeah.
Just refer to his own place as a vacation night. Dave would be going crazy if you were at his place while he wasn't there.
Oh, it would drive me
nuts.
It would drive me nuts knowing that Dave was in my place. I'd be like, oh, what weird stuff do I have?
What did I forget?
Yeah.
What did I forget?
Because I would definitely do like a good sweep, but but I'm bound to miss something. Or we could make a gentleman's agreement where we don't touch any, we don't do a sweep, but we trust that the other person won't snoop.
Yeah, you leave everything logged in on your laptop open. It's logged in.
That is absolutely and I don't even think I have anything that's worth it, but like old pictures and whatnot. I feel like Ryan's definitely gonna be rooting around in my apartment and looking around.
Here's the thing. I promise you, I would not. I would feel guilty because I would feel so guilty if I like invaded your privacy. Like what's fun about us is I think we're two people who are constantly motivated and pushed by guilt, and
Well, then where's the difference? Because I do feel like we have strong similarities, but then you take something like murder or mafia, and you're so different from me in that. You're so different. Is it because it's a false world?
Yeah, because I know like it's ultimately like silly in a way, like that it's fine. No one's hurt.
Yeah.
Like um, yeah,
I
like
also think
no
it's
one's
because
gonna
you're a
be
good actor. I also think it's because you're a convincing actor in those moments.
It's
I
the
break.
it's honestly, it's the only time that I'm like that I don't break, that I don't it's the
No,
best acting I do.
it's similar to in improv where if you have to be, we'll call it a monster character, you really dig your heels in and you really get in there and you blow it out and you can stay with it for a long period of time.
I feel like I get too nervous with that stuff anymore. Like I get a little too self-conscious with that on stage at times, just because like just kind of where we're at now. I'm trying to kind to uh, sort of relearn kind of like, okay, what's cool, what's not gonna bum the audience out,
Yeah.
and so I'm kind of relearning that. I actually feel more comfortable straight manning these days.
That's funny because we did a scene, not to rehash old improv scenes, but in one of our last shows we did before all of this happened, you, I believe, were Ryan Stanger's dad, and Stanger was your son,
Yeah,
and you were very threatening to him. You were at like a school meeting or something like that with a
right.
teacher, and you were really threatening to him as your son. And it got pretty intense, and Ryan was being a very good kid. And I was on the back line. I was like, he's such a good jerky dad in this. He's so mean to Stanger.
That was fun. Here, Jim, what do you think of this one? Uh, Tell me, do you think if Dave would be into this? All right, so I call this Meet the Parents, where Dave FaceTimes my parents, and then I FaceTime with Dave's parents, and neither one of us are on each other's calls. So it's sort of similar to the house sitting deal. And then we report what it was like to talk to each other's parents.
Um, I feel like Dave would love to talk to your parents,
Yep.
and you would love to talk to Dave's parents.
I would be nervous.
And
I'd be very nervous to talk to Dave's parents.
and Dave would just be worried of just Ryan, just don't 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 make the joke on them.
Yeah, no, for sure.
That's really all it would be. Just don't let the joke be on them.
Absolutely not. Dave, which would you be more comfortable with? Me staying in your apartment or me talking to your parents?
You talking to my parents?
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I thought it would be the other way around.
I've met your parents, but you've never met mine. Am I right?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're
Well,
great with parents.
huh?
I think you're probably great with parents.
I get shy around parents.
Are you too good with, like, if whoever you're dating someone, you have to meet their parents? Are you like, I'm good with the mom, or I'm good with the dad, or I'm good with both, or I'm good with neither? You have thoughts on that?
Better with the mom usually, and I've gotten better just in general with that. What used to be so bad. I have this image in my head of meeting parents that like I remember it constantly. Like it's just something that I like wake up in the middle of the night thinking about how horrible I was. Where I went to go meet my girlfriend's parents in college.
This is real.
Yeah, this is real.
Okay.
And like for whatever reason, I ate like a big lunch beforehand, and her parents like live far away or like 2 hours away. So we drove there, and her mom had been working on this big dinner, and I was so full, and I barely touched the meal, and then like her family was like pretty like seemingly like uptight, and I felt just so awkward and weird the entire trip, and I could tell they fucking did not like me at all. Like at all. Like we went to Branson, Missouri, and we went to like the amusement park there, and and like it's hokey as fuck. And they
My
were,
mom and dad love it.
yeah, they were loving it, and I was just like, I was like, I wasn't having a bad time, but like we went to go see like this like comedy review, and they were like laughing hysterically, and I wasn't. I was like, I can't make myself love this, Like I'm being polite. I'm like, yeah, yeah, but like it was obvious that I thought it was stupid, and we broke up. What about you, Jim? How are you with parents?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm also usually better with moms, but I think that that's probably natural, right? I mean, like I feel like in general, like it is such an unnatural meeting of men when it's when it's potential suitor and dad, like whether the dad wants to be protective, whether the dad wants to be the cool dad, or just trying to be like, I'm just normal, is going to be a caricature of being normal. Like it's just so
there's a lot going on.
Yeah, like so I don't think, I mean, I think the longest relationship I've ever had was like 2.5 years. And even in that relationship, I wasn't constantly seeing their parents. I feel like over time it probably gets there, I guess. I don't know. But but I would think though that I think in general because I think the mom also wants to protect the guy.
Yeah.
The boy coming in, like, because she's assuming the dad is gonna, be the tough guy, and
Or they're like at least like understanding enough of like, oh, this is probably a difficult situation for him. He's meeting all these nice people.
Yeah.
They're just maternal. They want to take care of.
Yeah. I think about like, I'm also good with the mom, but as I get older, I find that I'm pretty all right with the dad too. I think it's just that younger, it may be intimidated. But I also, even at my age, I think, what am I going to be friends with this guy? We're just gonna be like friends or something?
Here's the thing.
Happen.
I think that about a lot of people.
Yeah.
Listen, we're not going to be friends.
But
also, great. I just don't see, it's like I'm too old to get into Bob Dylan now. Like the library is too big.
Yeah.
But like, I think for a lot of people, the mindset is, yeah, of course, yeah, I'm gonna be their friend. Like I'm gonna get along with them, and we'll be fine.
Yeah.
And I see it like I remember like my dad one time was like went on like a little mini road trip with my grandma. It was like they were like moving something, and they were meeting my mom somewhere. But so like my dad and my grandma were in the car for like 5 hours together, and they were like, and I was like, I could not imagine being alone in a car for 5-6 hours with my girlfriend's mom or my mother-in-law or something like that. Like, but I was like, okay, well, but it's doable.
It's doable. Of course, it's all doable.
Wait, what was that time frame again? So it'd be like you in the car with your mother or father-in-law. Is that what it was for an extended amount of time?
Yeah, like a mini road trip.
That sounds miserable, but I bet like once you're in it, you're kind of in it, and then there's like at a certain threshold, you probably break through to a point where you're now like, you know what? Fuck yeah, like.
Yeah.
And then, of course, as soon as it's over and everything, and you assume this new relationship has been built, no, the shift goes right back. Like, wait, what happened?
Yeah, but at least you had that experience.
Yeah,
but I agree. Yeah, it's probably a good thing. We should do it more. Do you guys want to hear one more segment?
Yes.
Well, I think I'm kind of all right. So here's one called Dream Guest. All right, so Dave would share who is like all-time dream guest for the show would be, and I do the same. And then it would be my goal. We'd each have a month to try. I would have to try my hardest to get Dave's guest on the show, and vice versa. And obviously, we wouldn't get them, but we'd have to try really hard, and we would have to come back and report and see who got the furthest along, like who like became closest to making contact. And what the journey was, and whoever is the winner gets a black and white cookie.
I think that's pretty good because you then get to play, especially with your audience too. You could play like, you know, a version of 7 Degrees of Kevin Bacon,
Yeah.
like, because it's not, the winner can't be like, oh, you know what, like if one person's was Bob De Niro, it's Bob De Niro, who am I, Robert De Niro, and you know, and the closest you got, you know, was, you know, a friend of yours that really loves Goodfellas, and someone else's was somebody, and then like Harry's, let's say, was, you know, Michael Jordan, and you actually got some former NBA player. Now, no, it's a bad example. He got someone famous, a celebrity, but has nothing to do with sports.
Yeah.
Then that doesn't win just because the person's bigger. It is the criteria would be the 7 degrees of the actual person.
Absolutely, yeah.
That
Like
makes sense.
I got in touch with his personal assistant, like his like we got that
Yeah.
close and shut down. And
Yeah.
then and then if you got like mine was Patrick Mahomes, and you get me Brody Croyle, I'm like, well, it's
Who's
neat.
Brody
Yeah.
Croyle?
He was a Chiefs quarterback in the late aughts, like 2008, 2009 era. Went 0-10 as a starter.
I'm just as interested to talk to a quarterback that went 0-16 as I would be 16-0.
Yeah, for sure. I guarantee you the quarterback that went 16-0 is probably more eager to talk to anyone.
But I argue that the one that went 0-16 would be more interesting to talk to.
For sure. But that pitch would be, hey, so we're a comedy little outfit comedy show, and we'd love to have you on. You know, we know what you're known for. Yeah, it's like,
Yeah. Well, I mean, did you guys ever see Transylvania 65000? Did you see that movie in the 80s?
I
No.
think it's in
With
bits
Jeff
or like a
Goldblum and
long
Ed
time
Begley?
ago. I remember it's like always on Comedy Central.
Well, there's a part in it where where Jeff Goldblum is telling Ed Begley Jr. how bad of a journalist Ed Begley Jr. is, and he's like, "You were supposed to go and do a story on people who look like their pets, but instead you found people who looked like animals and gave them pets." Like, I feel like the interview, like the interview with the people who look like animals and got pets would be actually a funner interview than if you actually got the right person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, it's also like kind of fun to the idea of being like, so this is what you get, man. So you still have to interview them. They're not just, it's not just, hey, look at the freak. You still have to be like, well, we're here, so let's fucking talk. Huh?
Look at the freak. Oh my god.
Oh,
That's so funny.
all right. We got good segments. I think we got a lot of good segments. There's also several that we not talk about that we don't have time for that are good. I like.
Yeah.
but we should get to probably the next segment here.
Well, if real quick, if Jim said it might, Jim, are we able to get a peek inside your pantry, or are we?
Let me take a look.
The kitchen.
Look.
All right. He's gonna look if we play Peekaboo Pantry.
I like Pantry Raid.
Oh yeah, Pantry Raid. That's definitely a better name than Peekaboo Pantry.
Peekaboo Pantry is good too. Peekaboo Pantry is a funnier name. Pantry Raid is maybe a little more clever, but Peekaboo Pantry makes me laugh more.
No.
Peekaboo Pantry.
He said no. Did you say no?
No. I mean, I could sit there and I could pull it open on my phone, come in and be like, quietly. But
Nah.
what are you doing? None. Then later I have to go like, all right. So, anyways, I can tell you what's in there.
We'll leave it for another time. It's
Here's I'm going to ask you. We don't have to do it, but I'm going to ask you a question. Is there currently something in your kitchen or pantry that you're like, I'm looking forward to eating that?
Well, I did have an entire Red Baron frozen pizza for breakfast.
Oh yeah.
So if you keep that in mind, that plus the fact that I'm just in the quarantine, it's like I just have like a ton of like 3 things. I basically only have a ton of pasta. I'm from 6 to 3 Red Baron pizzas and peanuts and Coke Zero. That's basically what I have.
Yeah.
So I'm not really dying. Oh wait, no. You know what? Trail mix. I bought these like $20 big ass bags of trail mix.
Oh yeah.
From Amazon. That's the thing that I have to actually be like, Jim, you've had enough.
Chill out on the trail mix.
It's so good because you sit there and you go like, come on, it's mostly good for you.
Yeah. Well, is it like the ones with the M&Ms in it?
It's just plain M&Ms. It's yeah, it's got M&Ms, raisins, and peanuts, cashews.
Yeah, that sounds deadly. It's so good.
It's so good.
It's so good, and it seems like it's fine, man. It's fine.
Okay, a couple M&Ms get in there, that's fine. But all the other stuff is doing good work. So, like, you can have it.
Yeah,
it's a little bit of a treat.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. I do drink probably way more Coke Zero than I should, but in general though, I outside of the trail mix, no sugar stuff.
That's good. I've been a sugar fiend this during the quarantine. Like my diet was like pretty like strict and good and everything. And then like the moment all this happened, I was like, I have permission now to just be a maniac.
Yeah.
But you know the thing is, like, for me, I feel the same way. And but like when I was in Ralph's, the moment that I feel so weak in what I'm about to say, the moment I just forced myself to walk through the baked area and not get any cookies, the moment I forced myself, I was like, and then left and didn't do it, and I was like, this piece of cake.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, when I'm there, but all it would take is one purchase of cookies, and then I'd be right back where I started.
Oh yeah.
But it's crazy. It just took that one, you know.
When I was like on top of it and dieting, I would do the same thing. I'd be like, you like go look in the bakery, just look at the things they have, see if they're doing anything interesting. But you're not getting anything, and that's fine. But you can go, and maybe one of these days, if you see something you like, you can. That can be a goal for later. Now I'm like, oh yes, need this, and this.
The worst was when I found the discounted rack at Ralph's.
Oh yeah.
Because they have to just unload all their baked goods. So it's just like tons of just the cupcakes. And guess what?
Yeah, they're fine.
They're fine.
You usually got like a couple days or two.
They don't last that long. But it's, I mean, unbelievable. Also, I bought some of the Rice Krispie treats. They were fucking rock hard. I mean, like, I was like, I threw it in the garbage, and then I went back in the garbage because I was like, I bet I can microwave these. And it worked. Got those out of the garbage and microwaved.
Out of the garbage and into my mouth.
Yeah.
That discount rack at my Ralph's is placed in such a gross area where it's sort of hidden in a little hallway behind the seafood counter and next to the bathrooms, and grocery store bathrooms smell terrible. So it's a combination of that pea smell and seafood smell, and then you've got like these like starting to get stale like baked goods, and you're like, oh, these are so cheap, man, I'm gonna get them. Like,
yeah, it's like, don't forget about the smell of the baked good bargain.
Yeah.
Those are right there, the BGB. The I know the one you're talking. You talking about the Ralph said Pico and San Vicente?
Yes. Yeah. Right by me. That Ralph's
Yeah,
signature.
now I know where that discount rack is. That one,
Yeah,
I know where it is, and I've
it's the
because
best.
I and many Ralphs. When I first stumbled upon the one by my old place at Wilshire and Hauser. I was like, wait, what? Oh, what's this? And then I was like, this must exist at all of them. And then I started. When I felt sad was when I started searching for them at my not local Ralphs. Like I know they're here.
I know you're around here somewhere.
Yeah, and I know roughly where they're at.
Yeah.
They're not by the register.
No. They're sort of like they're embarrassed by it. Although there's the Ralphs at 3rd and La Brea, theirs is out. Like you would be shocked that like it's like, oh, what is all this? And then I would like look at it, it's like, oh, this expires like tomorrow. And then look at the sign and it's like, oh, this is like the discount one, and this is just right here in the refrigerated section. Like
Oh man.
well, Jim, thanks so much for coming on, man. This is a ton of fun. Would you be willing to come back to do the thing where you get letters from your friends?
Oh God.
You think about it. We don't mean to put you on the spot, but because you've had such a big reaction to it, it's like, oh man, kind of need to ask.
I mean, I can sit here and I'll say, yeah.
Awesome. Love it. Jim, thank you so much, man. You're the best.
Hey, thanks for having us, guys. It was super fun.
Yeah, Bob,
Awesome.
thanks for doing this.
All right, guys. This has been my private Kokomo with me, Ryan Meharry, and Dave Tootie. We'll see you next time at the beach.
See ya.
Bye, guys.
Bye.